a powerful car bomb explodes in the heart of Delhi. In the chaotic hours since the blast on November 10th, the story has just splintered into this complex web of facts, rumors, and of course, investigation. So in this explainer, we're going to cut through all that noise, we'll break down what we know, what the police are actually pursuing, and the major theory that's really starting to take shape.
You know how it is. When an event like this happens, misinformation isn't just common, it's immediate. It's everywhere. So our goal here is to stick to the verified information, to separate it from all that online chatter, and really just build a clear, factual picture of this developing story.
Okay, first things first, let's just establish the core facts. Before we dive into any theories or anything like that, what do we know for certain about what happened that day? So let's set the scene. The date, November 10th. The location, the super busy area right in front of the Lal Killa, the Red Fort metro station. We're talking about the very heart of India's capital.
Initial reports paint a really chaotic picture. A Hyundai i20 car was near the station when, suddenly, a massive explosion just erupted from within the vehicle. The force of the blast was immense. It ripped through nearby vehicles, including an auto rickshaw, and just left this scene of total destruction.
And the human cost was immediate and absolutely tragic. As of the latest reports we have, the number of confirmed fatalities from this blast stands at 10.
And beyond those we've lost, more than 24 other people were seriously injured. It's a number that just really underscores the devastating impact of this attack. So almost immediately after the explosion, social media was just flooded with rumors and all kinds of false stories. Let's tackle those head-on.
Two false narratives really took hold almost right away. First, you had claims that this was just a simple CNG cylinder blast, an accident. Second, a super dramatic photo of a massive explosion was being shared like wildfire. But here's the reality. That photo was old, completely unrelated to this. And on the ground, the authorities weren't buying the accident theory for a second. They filed an FIR, a First Information Report, under serious anti-terror laws, which pretty much signaled this was no accident.
And this official response is absolutely critical. Authorities were immediately treating this not as an accident, but as a potential act of terror. And that legal framing, it changed the entire direction of the investigation.
So the FIR specifically invoked two really powerful acts, the UAPA, which is India's main anti-terror law, and the Explosives Act. This legal framework gave the police really broad powers, and boy did they respond. They launched a massive operation, conducting raids at multiple locations all across the city to hunt for any leads they could find.
So this leads to the obvious question, right? If it was a terror attack, what are the leads? To understand the main theory, we actually need to look at a major police bust that happened just before the blast.
Yeah, investigators are focusing heavily on a potential link to what's being called the Faridabad Terror Module, which is a network that was just recently uncovered.
So what is this module? Well, it was a multi-state network, with people from Jammu and Kashmir, Haryana, and Delhi. The group was allegedly using rented houses in Faridabad, a city right next to Delhi, basically as storage depots for a massive, and I mean massive, amount of explosives.
And the scale of this operation was just staggering. From this one module, police recovered an astonishing 3,000 kilograms of suspected explosives and bomb-making components. Just think about that. That's enough material for a whole series of devastating, large-scale attacks.
The material was mostly suspected ammonium nitrate, which is a common but pretty powerful ingredient for explosives. But maybe the most shocking detail to come out of this bust was the profile of a key suspect, an alleged member of the cell named Dr. Shakil, a medical doctor from Jammu and Kashmir.
So how does all of this connect to the Delhi blast? Well, the leading theory that investigators are working on is one of desperation. Basically, a panicked reaction to that big police bust.
The theory goes something like this. The module was planning something big, but then police bust the network and arrest key players like Dr. Shakil. An associate, another doctor named Dr. Muhammad Umar, allegedly panics. He's afraid his own arrest is coming any minute. So what does he do? He decides to carry out a smaller, lone wolf-style suicide mission, a Fedayeen attack, with whatever resources he has left.
Now, it's so important to emphasize this. While this narrative, it connects a lot of the dots, and it's definitely the leading investigative angle right now, it is still just a theory. It has not been officially confirmed.
So as this really complex investigation continues, there are still several critical gaps in our knowledge. A lot we just don't know yet. I mean, there's still no official confirmation of who the driver was, and no definitive proof that it was a suicide attack. And crucially, no terror group has claimed responsibility. This leaves the biggest questions: who is behind this and why, still very much unanswered.
And all this leaves us with a much bigger question. If you look beyond the details of this single tragic event, what does the discovery of a multi-state terror module and a subsequent attack in the nation's capital really reveal about the internal security challenges India is facing today?